viewers, welcome to the series of lectures on tourist attractions and popular tourist circuits in Australia. This unit has been divided into two parts, and part 1 has been further divided into 5 subtopics for making it easy for your understanding. The subtopics are as follows: popular tourist circuits in Australia, tourist attractions in Northern Territory, tourist attractions in Queensland, tourist attractions in New South Wales, and tourist attractions in Victoria. First, popular tourist circuits in Australia. Australia is a large country with vast tourism resources spread across the country. The great distance between the places and diversity in tourist attractions make difficulty in selection of destinations. Covering whole country in a single visit or tour is difficult for travellers that can be covered in circuits to popular regions or states of Australia. These tourist circuits are discussed as per region or territories like Northern Territory, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, Southern Australia, Tasmania, the Australian Capital Territory and Western Australia. Now coming to the tourist attractions in Northern Territory. The Northern Territory is a vast federal territory in Australia which has unique and different physical geographical features. Diversity in its geographical conditions offers wide variety of tourist destinations in the region, from vegetation-rich national parks to deserts in the south and wetlands and rivers to dry areas within the region. Prime attraction in Northern Territory is Aboriginal culture who settled here thousands of years ago. Northern Territory is home to two spectacular natural rock formations, Uluru, Ayers Rock and Kata Jutta, the Olgas, which are sacred to the local Aboriginal people. If a tourist from other country looking for real Australian outback experience or adventure in the Northern Territory is a perfect and great destination to consider. The most popular and capital city of the Northern Territory is Darwin, which is much closer to Asian continent. Darwin was once the popular port city at the time of British colony and destroyed 2 times, once by the attack of Japanese and the second time by cyclone. Darwin was rebuilt in its present form, making it one of the best cities to visit in Australia. In the north of the Northern Territory lies Kakadu National Park, which features breathtaking wetlands and native wildlife. There is an extensive series of river systems in the Northern Territory, especially within Kakadu National Park, which includes the Alligator Rivers, Daly River, Finke River, MacArthur River, Roper River, Todd River and Victoria River. Southern part of the territory is close to the Central Australian desert, which is called as Red Centre. Northern Territory is beautiful, sparsely populated and tourist destinations are less crowded. There are many tourist circuits designed and offered by operators to Northern Territory, but here we are discussing on most commonly visited and popular circuit of Northern Territory. Darwin. Darwin is the bustling capital city of the Northern Territory and gateway to Kakadu National Park. Darwin is a popular tourist city within the region for its water bodies, harbour, marine life, shops selling art and crafts made by Aboriginal people, waterfront restaurants to taste different cuisines, and all these makes this city a must-visit place in tour to Northern Territory. Kakadu National Park. The most visited natural attraction in the region is Kakadu National Park. Park showcases the remarkable landscape, wildlife and cultural heritage of the Northern Territory. It has different types of Aboriginal art, rock and painting in it. Uluru and Kata Jutta rocks. Uluru, that is the Ayers Rock, is another most visited tourist attraction and landmark of tourism in Northern Territory. Within the distance of 35 kilometers from Uluru, there is other group of rocks named Kata Jutta, that is the Olgas in local language, meaning as many heads. Uluru and Kata Jutta rock formations are geological wonders located in the Uluru Kata Jutta National Park. The Olgas is a group of 36 domed massive rocks forming deep valley between each other. Taking a day tour in and around the rocks is adventurous and closer inspection will help in observing the rock art and paintings of Aboriginal tribes living in the region. Rocks also have ponds, waterfalls and unique plant species in and around. Kings Canyon. Watarka, that is the Kings Canyon National Park, features one of the most spectacular sights in Central Australia, the yawning chasm of Kings Canyon. The Kings Creek Walk is an easy trail following the rocky creek bed to a raised platform with views of the towering canyon rim. Walkers are rewarded with awesome views on the strenuous Kings Canyon Rim Walk. After a steep climb, the walk skirts the canyon's rim before entering the Garden of Eden, a lush pocket of cycads around a natural pool. Alice Springs. Alice Springs is a remote isolated village in the Northern Territory, which is a getaway to Australia's red centre, the interior deserts of Australia. Alice Springs is popularly called as the Alice or simply Alice, attracts tourists because of its stunning landscapes, remote communities and their culture. The Tiwi Islands. The group of two islands, Bathurst and Melville Islands, lies about 80 km north of Darwin and are home to the Tiwi Aboriginal people. The name came because of the twins Aboriginal people. These islands are naturally very rich, beautiful and scenic, with clear water bodies, marine life and art and culture of native people. Tourism is not much entertained by the local Aboriginal people, but only the way to visit the islands is on one of the daily organized tours from Darwin. Tourist attractions in Queensland. Queensland is one of the 6 states in Australia located in the northeastern part of the country. Queensland is probably most famous region among all other regions in the country because of its association with several major World Heritage Sites, world's popular tourist spots including the Great Barrier Reef and the Daintree National Park. Queensland attracts more tourists because of its natural tourism resources, and most of the tourists visiting East Coast will not miss an opportunity to visit Queensland. Its close proximity to National Capital Region and Sydney is also an advantage to tourists for easy access to the places in this region. Eastern Queensland has a climate ranging from subtropical to tropical, and it's a popular wintertime tourist attraction. Large areas of Western Queensland are very arid. Much of Queensland has a wet and dry season due to its latitude. One of the major tourist areas is the beach-based tourist resort just south of Brisbane known as the Gold Coast. Southeast Queensland is one of the fastest growing areas of Australia. Queensland has spectacular beaches, unique wildlife, world's largest coral reef, adventure and theme parks, stunning waterfalls, driving tour routes and much more for all category of tourists. Let us find out Which are the top destinations to visit in Queensland Circuit? First is the Great Barrier Reef. The Great Barrier Reef is one of the natural wonders as well as the largest reef system in the world, made up of more than 600 islands and countless individual reefs. Great Barrier Reef is rich with the colorful coral, sea turtles, stingrays and more than 1,500 species of tropical fish. It is no wonder the reef is a paradise for diving and snorkeling. Watching to the underwater life in this clear crystal water is really a lifetime experience one can have. Tourists can explore the region by yacht, dinghy or motor cruiser as part of a tour or choose their own tour with one of the self-chartered yacht options. Cairns, Port Douglas and Airlie Beach are the main points on the mainland to start tour to Great Barrier Reef Marine Park, and there are many island resorts where tourists can stay inside the marine park. Daintree Rainforest. The Daintree Rainforest is the largest area of tropical rainforest as well as oldest living rainforest in Australia and is located a short 2-hour drive north of the Cairns. The Daintree National Park is a World Heritage Site and part of the unique wet tropics area in the northernmost part of Queensland. The name has come because of the mighty Daintree River flowing in the rainforest and the village with the same name on the bank of the river. Daintree Rainforest has two main sections in the park. Mossman Gorge, the thick wooded lush forest with clear crystal water bodies, and the Cape Tribulation, where the tropical rainforest fringes the coral sea and beaches. Daintree Rainforest is rich with wide variety of flora and fauna, housing fascinating array of plants and wildlife such as flightless southern cassowaries, crocodiles, boids, rainforest dragons, the spotted cuscuses and musky rat kangaroos. Port Douglas town, located south to the park, is a popular base for arranging rainforest wilderness safaris. Gold Coast. Gold Coast is Australia's most popular holiday destination with long coast of beautiful beaches. Surfers' Paradise, shortly known as Surfer, is attracting tourists like a magnet into the region. Gold Coast is filled with lot of other attractions to offer for tourists such as Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary, the Movie World by Warner Brothers, SeaWorld and Lamington National Park, Whitsunday Islands and Whitehaven Beach. Whitsunday Islands is a group of islands encompasses 74 stunning picturesque islands on the east coast of central Queensland. 5 islands have been announced as national parks due to rich flora and fauna, and several islands have country's best island resorts. Whitehaven Beach is a popular ravishing beach in the world because of its so pristine and clear water body, powdery sand and the largest of the 74 islands in the Whitsundays. Brisbane. Brisbane is the capital city of Queensland, is a big modern city situated on the Brisbane River. City has the good blend of great culture, traditions and modern facet. City is clustered with cultural institutions including Queensland Museum and Science Centre, with noted interactive exhibitions and Queensland Gallery of Modern Art among Australia's major contemporary art museums. Looming over the city is Mount Coot-tha, site of sprawling Brisbane Botanic Gardens with panoramic views from its summit. Tourist attractions in New South Wales. New South Wales is a southeastern state and oldest state in Australia. New South Wales houses Australia's popular city Sydney and also Australia's capital territory in it. New South Wales is a very rich state in terms of tourism resources. Beyond beautiful cities are the rugged Blue Mountains, which is part of Great Dividing Range, rainforest, outback towns, opals and silver mines. Long surfing beaches are all set to give great experience of travel to visitors. Great Dividing Range passes through center of the state, creating wonderful geographical regions such as narrow eastern coast houses, stunning beaches, high tableland and peaks for adventure lovers, fertile farming lands in the slopes and outback towns in the west of the range for rural and culture tourism. Snowy mountain peaks invites adventure tourists for ski activities. Some of the popular places can be included in New South Wales tourist circuits are as follows. Sydney. Sydney, popularly known as Harbour City, Australia's oldest, largest and most urban city. Beautiful Sydney has something special to offer for every visitor. Broad sandy beaches and scenic cruises make the harbour city the perfect holiday destination for travellers looking for fun on the sand and sea. A compact city surrounded by lush greenery, national parks and clear crystal water bodies has amenities like world-class dining, posh shopping streets, making the city a visitor's paradise. Whether scaling the heights of the Harbour Bridge or delving into the history and lore of the Aboriginal people as a travel destination, the capital of New South Wales never disappoints. Top tourist attractions of Sydney include Sydney Opera House. The Sydney Opera House, a multi-venue for performing arts and iconic landmark of the city and country. Opera House is popularly known for its exceptionally modern and unique architecture and its view from harbour and Harbour Bridge. Sydney Harbour Bridge. Another popular attraction of Sydney is Harbour Bridge, which carry rail, vehicular, bicycles and pedestrian traffic from central business district to North region. Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach is the most popular beach in the city, located just minutes away from Sydney's Central Business District or CBD. Bondi Beach is a mile-long sweep of golden sand lined with red tile roofed homes, apartments and green spaces. A promenade adjacent to the sand runs the length of the crescent-shaped beach. Popular Bondi Beach attracts swimmers, surfers, sunbathers and bodybuilders. Queen Victoria Building, more commonly referred to as QVB, the most popular shopping mall in Sydney. The Queen Victoria Building is a 5-story shopping centre that fills an entire city block and houses nearly 200 retailers. Built by architect George McRae in 1898, the building was designed as a marketplace and concert hall. Taronga Zoo. One of the best zoos in the world, Taronga Zoo, located in Sydney's Mosman neighbourhood on the harbour's hillsides. Tourists can see Australia's indigenous creatures as well as animals from all over the world in Taronga Zoo. Highlights of the zoo include the roar and snore experience, which allows visitors to stay overnight to observe nocturnal fauna and their activities at night, and the Nura Dia Tour, which features guides who narrate and share stories about Aboriginal life of the natives of Australia. Blue Mountains. Blue Mountains are mountain ranges or region in New South Wales and a part of Great Dividing Range. Blue Mountains have been a favourite holiday resort for hikers and nature lovers. Blue Mountains, situated just 60 km west of capital city Sydney and home for UNESCO World Heritage Site, listed Blue Mountain National Park. Blue Mountains are heaven for hikers. nature lovers and adventure enthusiasts because of its stunning mountain peaks, wildlife, walking trails and waterfalls. Mount Kosciuszko. Mount Kosciuszko is the highest mountain peak in Australia, which is a part of Snowy Mountains in Great Dividing Range. Snowy Mountains are the mountain peaks covered with snow almost round the year to attract a lot of adventure seekers. Mount Kosciuszko National Park is a part of mountain range listed as UNESCO World Heritage Bioreserve. Hunter Valley. The picturesque Hunter Valley is 2-hour drive from Sydney and an hour from Newcastle. Hunter Valley is dotted with vineyards and farms. Apart from these, Hunter Valley is also famous weekend escape for gourmet foods, cooking schools and vast stretches of unspoiled bushland. All category of tourists can stay in Hunter Valley because accommodations are available from luxury spa resorts to rustic cabins and budget hotels. Now coming to tourist attractions in Victoria. Victoria is the smallest state in the mainland Australia and situated to the southeast of Australia. Victoria is Australia's most densely populated state and its second most populous state overall. The largest and capital city is Melbourne and in fact second largest city in Australia. The state is bordered by Bass Strait and Tasmania to the south, New South Wales to the north, the Tasman Sea to the east and South Australia to the west. Geographically, the state is small, but it has some world-famous and unique tourist attractions. Some of the destinations can be covered in Visit to Victoria are as follows. Melbourne. Melbourne is the capital city of Victoria State and affectionately called Marvellous Melbourne during the gold rush of the 1850s. The name is still used today for Australia's second largest city. Melbourne is a dazzling city located on the bank of the Yarra River near the entrance of Port Phillip Bay. Melbourne is a modern metropolis steeped in history. No doubt that Melbourne will delight tourists with its great history and modern amenities. Melbourne had settlement of people when British started colony here and especially at the time of gold mining. Melbourne has several things to offer for visitors. Federation Square. Federation Square is the prime location and landmark in Melbourne city from where most of the tourist sightseeing starts. The square opened in 2002 to commemorate 100 years of Federation with lot of controversy that there were those people loved it, at the same time some people hated it. Either way, it has become an integral part of the city and a great place hosting more than 2,000 events annually. Square also houses the Ian Pottery Gallery, dedicated to Australian art and the Australian Centre for the Moving Image. More commonly called Fed Square, it is also the largest free Wi-Fi site in Australia. Royal Botanic Gardens. Royal Botanical Gardens are situated on the bank of Yarra River in two different places of the city. First one, 32 hectares garden, is in the centre of the Melbourne city, and the other one, 363 hectare landscaped garden situated in the suburb of Melbourne in Cranbourne. These gardens are considered Australia's best and one of the world's best landscape gardens. Royal Botanic Gardens house hundreds of native and exotic plant species. Melbourne Cricket Ground. Melbourne Cricket Ground, popularly known as MCG, is the world's famous stadium and hosts everyday tours to visitors. With a capacity of 100,000 and a history dating back to 1853, the MCG is considered one of the world's greatest stadiums. Daily 75-minute tours take visitors for a trip down a memory lane of great moments in sporting history and incorporate the Australian Gallery of Sport and the Olympic Museum. Melbourne Museum and Royal Exhibition Building. Melbourne Museum is an institution having great collection of artifacts belonging to the history of the region and country. Melbourne Museum is surrounded by beautiful gardens and parkland. This modern purpose-built museum houses a diverse collection depicting society and cultures. Adjacent to the Melbourne Museum is the elaborate Royal Exhibition Building, built in 1880 to host Melbourne's international exhibition. The building also held the first Commonwealth Parliament of Australia in 1901. Regular tours are available and the building is still used for exhibitions and special events. Yarra River Cruise. A riverboat cruise in the Yarra River is a thrilling ride, not only the perfect way to see the sights, it is also an insight into the history of the Yarra River. Another popular cruise goes across to historic Williamstown, where visitors can spend time exploring the quaint seaside port. Penguin Parade. The Penguin Parade is Australia's most popular wildlife attraction and home to the largest little penguin colony in the world. Every sunset, the hundreds to over 1,000 wild little penguins emerge from the sea and march across the beach to their sand dune burrows. Great Ocean Road and 12 Apostles. Driving on the Great Ocean Road, which is the most scenic highway in the world, runs parallel to the south coast of Victoria State. While travelling on the Great Ocean Road, tourists can also see the popular limestone stacks called as 12 Apostles. Coming to the summary. It is difficult to answer for the question that which place is best to visit in Australia. Several regions of Australia have everything to offer, from natural wonders to man-made modern attractions. Tourists will select the places as per their interest and based on several factors like how good the place is accessible, safety and security, tourist-friendly locals and opportunities to do more activities and explore. Thank you.